Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. It's Carol whoa. Hold up. You back that up there. Psychedelic from Nebraska with Big Cat Rescue. People have been binge watching. Have you guys been staying at home lately? I have. I'm still working, but cases have been kind of rising, here in Nebraska, but um, playing it safe. And, uh, and if anything else is growing, it's definitely my hair. And it doesn't really matter what my hair looks like anymore at work, so I don't know why I fix it up for the camera. So, some days my hair just looks like a fro. Depending on the humidity outside, it can look like Noel Redding's hair, in the background there. So, anyways, uh, we're here for a vinyl update. Only got 3 records to share since I last been on camera here. Things have been pretty slow online. People are just not putting good items up for sale anymore. Um, but I really shouldn't say that. I mean, there are some good items, but I guess nothing up my alley too much. Because I think these 3 items are stuff that have kind of been online that I just kind of happened to search out, and they were nothing like I was bidding on or anything. Um, so these kind of go back all the way to, if you guys saw my live stream, I shared one of these records, and I'm gonna go back and talk about this one. So let's begin. So this one kind of goes back. I discovered this probably at the same time I discovered another record on the same label, Records by Pete, and this is another fantastic gem. And out of the 3 records, this is probably the one I recommend the most. And this is John Burqini, Some Kind of Change. And I've been kind of on this hunt for this one for quite a while. This was a local seller in Nebraska who I bought from in the past who had a Circus 2000. He's got quite a collection up for sale in Omaha, so kind of makes me wonder. Yeah, I don't have the greatest, OG site, in Nebraska, but I know I got some, but I don't have everything. But yeah, anyways, with this record though, just a one and done sort of thing. Singer songwriter. John Burqini later became like known for writing a book for helping singer songwriters, as what he's best known for. Like in the 80s or something, he's helped write a lot of well-known songs, including December Dream, which was also covered by the Stone Ponies, I think a year later, with Linda Ronstadt, which he also does his version on this album as well. But this is a fantastic record. If you're looking into, not just singer-songwriter, but just one of those late 60s psych trappings, kind of inspired by Donovan. His voice kind of reminds me of Roger McGuinn of the Byrds. Um, it's a little bit of that, but it's got just a mixed bag of, some folky elements. It does have a few horn arrangements, but it's done very well. And like I said, there's at least a couple really deep, worth mentioning psych tracks on here. The title track, Some Kind of Change, has backward reverb effects on the drums and some fuzz guitar. And then the ending track, Silver Chord, kind of reminds me of Group 1850, of all things. It's an instrumental, kind of electronic, proto-prog space jam. It is awesome. The other highlight is Free Fall off here. If you want to check the full album, it is on YouTube, so give it a listen. This is one I highly recommend. It's got very strong material all throughout. There might be a clinker or two. The opening track was like the 45 cut off here, Gray Day. It's kind of a typical commercial cut from the album, but looks like I got a text. But anyways, it's still very enjoyable material, very high quality, for such a small label, it's a shame this doesn't get talked about. Very overlooked obscurity. So, show the label here. So I'll probably play the music in the background so you guys get a taste of this. Okay, and then these are other two that I picked up on eBay. And these were from, yeah, these were both from eBay. And these are two that I've just been kind of looking around, listening to online. I've seen people been posting them a lot lately, and just kind of made me re-listen online again, streaming them. And I was like, yeah, I need to, maybe just keep my eye on these for a little bit and see if they ever pop up. And I just found this for cheap one day, and it was $15, so I just dropped some cash on this one. This is I guess you could say archival compilation of United Travel Service. This is one I asked Randy at Dead Wax about, see if he had it. This would probably be something maybe up his alley. It's kind of garage pop, I would say. They're kind of going for a pop psych sort of sound, but it's very garage, very raw and garage sounding. From the Pacific Northwest. I would say the strong tracks are they're 45 cuts, Wind and Stone, the opening track. If you want to get a taste of what it sounds like, that's a very good cut. Drummer of Your Mind, The Slightest Possibility, Like Me. They're all great tracks, actually. There's really no weak moments on here. The production's kind of weak on some moments. There are some demo cuts, but they try to recreate it the best they can with the mixing at the time. This came out in 2009, I think, this compilation. And there's 3 demo cuts, but the music or the songwriting quality comes through, even though the production's pretty weak. Songs like Beyond the Rainbow and Crystal Land. The last 3 tracks, but otherwise this is very good if you spot it cheap. Comes with a nice insert. I hadn't read the whole story yet, I just kind of glanced through it, but I think I read they did play with the Doors, or they toured with the Doors at one point, and some of the more famous acts, and I guess they didn't really chat with them or anything, but I guess they were kind of rude to him or something, they mentioned, just kind of passing by. There's some 45 singles they made. And they also made it onto the Rust Records label, which was a subsidiary of the Lori label, if I'm not mistaken. I might be correct on that, but I'm not sure. Anyways, a nice insert. So overall, I do like this album quite a bit, and it's one to check out. Maybe not as psychedelic as one would think, but there are some unsuspecting, psych effects thrown in that kind of throw you off at first, but worth investigating for sure. Man, people are blowing up my phone. All right, and then on to this last one. This is one I kind of returned to on and off throughout the year last year, and I just finally decided to return to it, and I was like, wow, for such a cheapie, this is one that I'm surprised it's still cheap as it is, and couldn't resist picking this up. This is Kensington Market, Aardvark. It's their second sophomore album on the Warner 7 Arts label. Got a gatefold. This is a US copy. Cover's a little worn, but the record is very nice. And this is a promo copy. White label. I say it's a nice copy, and there's a speck of dust on it. It's kind of what happens with those old sleeves, Anyways, Man, this is fantastic. So I gave this a listen, and it's kind of one of those albums that does grow on you, and you know it's a grower if it's you know if it's fantastic material. Um, so with the Kensington Market, it's definitely one of those groups that was overlooked. You could put them in like the same vein as like the Poppers or the Collectors. Sort of one of those bands. But I think this album, just this one album alone, uh, in some spots, kind of ranks a little higher than those bands, in my opinion. And I think a lot of fans will agree this is the stronger album. The first one is just not very memorable, if I remember correctly. It's got a couple really nice standout moments, but it gets very baroque, if I remember correct. It's been a while since I listened to that first one, but they're both very cheap. But this one has more emphasis, and it kind of brings more character, I would say. And the way I mean by that is that it has, use of Moog synthesizer, electric harpsichord going throughout, some fuzz moments, not too heavy, but it's definitely pop psych driven. Very well done. Sort of in a Beatles-esque, sort of UK flavored production style. It's also arranged and kind of conducted, you know, overseen by Felix Papalardi, who also, had the musical direction on the first album. And this is fantastic. I mean, there's not really a weak moment. All the tracks kind of flow together really well. If I had some favorite tracks, Said I Could Be Happy, Said I Am, Cartoon, and the last track, Dorian. They're all fantastic tracks on here. Like I said, the writing is kind of just all over the place. It's not very memorable. It doesn't stick with you at first, but it's a grower for sure, and worth the $10 it goes for. So yeah, very stoked to pick this up while times are tough. um, yeah, while things are kind of just out of reach right now and things I can't really find online, it's kind of nice to find cheap heat, is what I like to call it, and gets a really nice review in the Acid Archives in the Best Buy section. Has a nice review in there as well. So, anyways, that's all I got to share, and I hope everyone's doing well. I think that's all I got. Oh, also, I got a couple really good original copies of, I guess you can't really say grails, but one is a private press that I've really been looking for that no one really talks about, and I can't believe I'm getting it. But then the one I got today on eBay on a bid is one that it's one of those albums I shouldn't own, because it's like, here I am, and someone that lives in Nebraska, a Nebraska kid, has an album that's from another country, an original pressing of this hard rock heavy psych album, and somehow I got it. I'll just leave it at that. So really stoked to get that one. So we'll have to wait and see what that is. So take care. Got any questions, let me know, and we shall catch you soon.